And we're talking about the question, did Jesus rise from the dead? And what's the evidence? Is there any evidence? And one of the key things, gentlemen, that we've got to talk about is what did happen to this fellow by the name of Paul that was out there killing Christians, going after them, wasn't in the frame of mind to believe, didn't want to believe, thought they were dead wrong, and all of a sudden he became one of the greatest propagators of the Christian faith. Now, something happened. Tony, talk to me. What do you think happened to Paul?
Well, the account seems to be that he had some companions, the people who later, after he'd fortunately temporarily lost his sight and took him on into Damascus, and he thought that the risen Jesus, the Christ, the Messiah, he'd seen this, and the Messiah had talked to him. But his companions, apparently, at most heard, on some accounts he heard a voice, and some they didn't. But they certainly are not said to have seen something that you could push around on any sort of ordinary or even abnormal human body.
All right, so Gary, what do you say to your buddy?
Well, again, I think the main problem with Paul, he's right. The crux of the data is that we have Paul himself on several occasions, 1 Corinthians 9:1, 1 Corinthians 15:8, Galatians 1, saying he saw Jesus. But if he's not, I don't think he's a candidate for Kent's theory, not a candidate for conversion disorder, because like I said, conversion disorder does not involve hallucination. So Paul would have to have a conversion disorder. Number 2, an auditory hallucination, because he thought he heard a voice. 3, a visual hallucination. 4, and then Messiah complex, visions of grandeur, so to speak, because he believed God spoke to him and gave him a message for the whole world. And 5, there's not one speck of evidence from Paul's account that he was in the mood to be changed, why he would want to change. So it seems to me we have 4 psychological problems and then a biblical problem from Paul's writing. I'm wondering how you can change a conversion disorder of Kent, your theory, how you can combine, let's say, a conversion disorder with a visual hallucination, with an auditory hallucination, with visions of grandeur, Messiah complex. This all happened at once.
Moment, indeed, most of the time, I'm not trying to offer a naturalistic or any other explanation of that. I want to know what the alleged phenomena are here.
But that is a naturalistic theory.
Well, it is a possible. It may be something wrong with that. I don't profess to be a psychological expert who knows what a conversion order is. I've read my William James and so on, and heard about
one of Kent's two big points is that Paul had. I'm just saying, it doesn't even follow. Even if he had a conversion disorder, it doesn't follow that he would see, hear, and think God gave him a message.
These are reasons for not accepting conversion order the explanation. I'm not particularly worried about that. I mean, I read this in
giving it up.
No, what I want to raise is what it was that Paul actually saw. What he thought he saw was the risen Christ. But what was there to be seen? And his companions apparently didn't see the risen Christ or anything else, other than Paul obviously having some very important transforming experience.
We do know from if you take the 3 texts in Acts, Acts 9, 22, and 26, they did see a light. The companions did see a light. They all fell down on their knees. They heard a voice, but they didn't understand what the voice was saying. So I don't want this to go, I don't want people to get the idea that what I'm agreeing with you on is that they were just standing there and they saw nothing. They saw light, they heard a voice, they fell down to the ground. So plainly there's an objective effect on them too, which by the way is an additional problem for conversion disorder, because if Paul has a conversion disorder, how come his companions are falling down to the ground, seeing a light, and hearing a voice?
Okay. You know, I never professed to be a psychological expert. Okay, conversion order, but still, in order to have something that is going to transform your life, and
that's right.